What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes
What's up? What's up?
and Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So Chris was unable to make it today, but look for him next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you are one of our longtime followers, nothing has changed. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP. I don't really have one for this week, so it might be a throwback. Or then Fridays, everything else, so movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But if you're listening to us on 91 FM in the Atlanta metro area, then you get everything all at one time. So that's the difference. And then channel 10 in the DC Fairfax community, we should be popping up relatively soon. So please keep an eye out for us. But those will be mostly interviews for the first quarter anyway, and then we'll start to mix the show in. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from Politico.com. All right, and it's written by John Sacalari, John Sacalari, Otis, and Maggie Miller. I'm sorry, John.
You did better
know
than
I
me.
butchered your name. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the title of this one is "Here's Who Could Fill Top Cyber Policy Roles for Trump." So for those of you that have been under a rock, Trump has been reelected, right? So he's got to start getting that staff together, right? So cyber policy roles, that's what we talk about all the time here, right? That's what we're here for, right? So even though it's a little early, he's not going to get inaugurated until January. Got some time, but they did a little list here of who they heard the top dogs were that could be going back into these positions, right? So a lot of them are from former Trump not employees, but people that have worked under him in the previous administration, right, which ended back in January 2021. But when they start going through some of the bona fides for these people, I'm like, okay, well, these people, they look like they have the experience. Like when they talk about where they're at and what they've done. There's one on here that started a company 4 years ago that may be a little hesitant to leave that, you know what I mean? But they have a list here, right? They talk about Sean Planky, right? He's the former senior NSC and Energy Department official. He could be a top of CISA or the DOE's Office of Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response, which is where he previously worked, right? So it's not like it would be somebody new that needs to learn the ropes. It's like, hey, the ropes were pretty much what they were 4 years ago. We hope. We'll see. Karen Evans. She's the Homeland Security Department's former CIO and the only ever Senate-confirmed Assistant Secretary of CSER, where she was Planky's boss, the first one, Sean Planky. She was his boss. Joshua Steinman, top cyber policy post in the NSC is Steinman's, if he wants it, they say on here, right? He spent 4 years at the Trump NSC during the first term, right? So this is what I was talking about. It's some people that had some play in what was in there before, right? Katie Arrington, former Chief Information Security Officer for the Pentagon's Office of Acquisition and Sustainment under the first Trump term. Again, right here it is, bringing people back, right? Bob Strayer, he previously served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Cyber at the State Department under the Trump administration. So again, another one. Matt Hayden, former Assistant Secretary for Cyber, Infrastructure, Risk, and Resiliency Policy at DHS, Department of Homeland Security, right? Lucien Niemeyer, former senior Pentagon official, is rumored to be interested in helming CISA, right? So again, there's a list here, right? They got some bona fides. When you look at the people, it's like, okay, well, there's some decent stuff on here, right? And even with the people that they have, they have experience, right? So despite what you may think, about the previous term or anything like that, like a lot of roadway has been made and a lot of headway has been made. Excuse me, not roadway, headway has been made in dealing with cybersecurity under the current administration, right? And we just hope that it continues with the people that we have here, right? Like they know the dangers that are out there. They've seen them, right? Even if they're not paying attention as close as they need to, like we're putting stuff out there to where this is common knowledge that cybersecurity is a really big thing when it comes to what's going on in this nation. Daniel, what's your thoughts?
I think, as talking heads, we kind of like to jump the gun a lot. And this kind of falls in that category. I think it's a little bit too soon, but I don't think too soon the importance of this topic. Historically, cybersecurity and IT security is a very important playing field. I think never in the history of the world, cybersecurity right now, the importance of what's coming and being prepared and what's going to come ahead as planning to prepare for those actions over the next 5 years. I mean, I can't stress it enough. I don't want to be a doomsday sayer, but this is a very important time in the history of the world and in the U.S. Now, however, with that being said, there are some names on here that I strongly Katie Arrington being the person specific, right? If that person is the person that gets elected, I will lose my head. I will, I'm taking crazy pills, will seriously be shouting from the mountaintops because she fumbled the bag with CMMC so bad, and there were strong unethical and conflict of interest things that came out of that are still unfolding to the point where she had to, I don't know if she had to step down or they stepped her down. I can't remember correctly. Forgive me if I'm getting the story incorrectly in some parts, but her name being even thrown out there as a potential worries me a lot. And I say this going back to what I said before. Whoever this person that's going to be working for Trump, it can't be understated the importance of their responsibility to make sure they can get in the president's ear to direct him in the right direction. And we already know in future articles that we'll be talking about this week, his stance and what they're looking at is actually going the opposite direction, which really worries me. Now is not the time to cut funding or governance or planning in the direction of cybersecurity, even less so in critical infrastructure, power systems, or AI. And I really feel like that's a stance he's going to take going backwards. And I don't think the U.S. can really afford to go that direction. I don't know, Ryan, I'm always a doomsday sayer in our group, but do you think I'm like getting too ahead of myself even in this topic?
So hold on,
I
hold on,
don't
hold on. Before you go, Ryan. Like Daniel, I'm telling you, man. First Warren Buffett, and now this. Like, I feel like what was Don Cheadle's name in Ocean's 11 when he was doing the robbery job, and he's like, "You're gonna get us all nicked." Like that's what I feel like right now. You're gonna get us all pinched. But go
I'm
ahead,
just
Ryan.
I'm looking out for the U.S. That's all. I'm just looking. You tell me, Ryan.
Look,
Am I going
you're looking
crazy?
out for America. So I don't have that experience when she was in the seat. I was still active duty, I believe. Yeah, I would still be active duty during that time, right? When CMC was starting to develop and rear its head. So I don't know. All I know is that I'm really hoping that when what is he, 47 now? Would he be president 47? He was 45, now he's 47, right? So I just hope that when he enters that he has a very good plan for who is going to go in. Because my fear is that no one on this list gets picked, and he just throws a curveball, and it's just some rando. So that's my fear, because then that person has to learn and grow and find the right people and disrupt. So I just hope that there's a plan in place. And just keep Easterly. I know it's not going to happen, probably. Well, maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, it could. That could be the curveball. You'd be like, "No, I'm just going to leave the person who's in there." But I doubt it. I think it's just going to be a full reset, right? I think she's been doing such a great job. So
Yeah.
that's my whole thing is the disruption, or pick the person who's already vetted for the seat, right? Like as opposed to just a rando, like, "Hey, this is Phil. Phil said he knows something about cybersecurity,"
Hopefully
and
it's not
now Phil takes
somebody.
over takes
Yeah,
over SZA, right?
one of his friends of somebody that has a company with the name X in it. One of his buddies comes in and just sits down, and it just
You're gonna start. So Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, and now Elon Musk. You just
I
creating a
like you.
list. Creating a
I like
list of people.
Elon, but hopefully
Yeah.
it's not somebody that's an endorsing of his, and then they try to get somebody moved into that position. I hope it's a really good vetted person that can bring things to the table because right now, U.S. isn't fragile, but we've always been very, very strong in the cybersecurity front, and we've shown that. We've shown our chops. We're industry leading. Our agencies are industry leading, and I would hate to see us for the first time in the history of America kind of go the opposite direction and the Iraq, Russia, China to the world, kind of really starting to step on our turf in terms of their capabilities, and us getting pushed back, especially in areas that we can't afford to lose, like energy or AI and these kind of things.
Right, right. So I think you swapped Iran with Iraq,
I don't
maybe.
know. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like,
What
they're
are
friends
the
now, right?
eyes? Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's my fear that we get with a curveball. It's not somebody who's vetted and things of that nature. And things have been going fairly well. I don't think SZA's done anything controversial. You know what I mean? Or any of the other uh, potential positions that could be filled. I don't remember in recent, like the only thing that everyone is kind of iffy on is TikTok, right? Like that's been the only thing that's been really controversial. A lot of people didn't like CMMC at first, but it seems to be growing on people, right? Or at least the regulation being enforced on people is going. So my fear would be, again, a curveball gets put into the seat, and then my second would be the disruption, like CMMC does not go and be implemented, or something else does not be is not implemented. Like it's just a disruption, that churn that happens every administration. But my fear is that it's such disruption that it takes years to get back to where we were at, just like the last time. But again, it was his first time in the seat. I don't think that there was a really solid plan in place. So maybe this time around there is a better plan. But I don't want to get too political. So we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But at least we do know something about Katie Arrington now from your perspective. So we'll see. That's probably gonna be the pick. He's gonna Donald Trump, President 45 and 47, is listening to this podcast. All right. He's like, you know what? I don't like that guy Daniel. I'm gonna put in Katie Arrington because she'll be the best. And it's your fault. It's your fault, Daniel.
I'm sorry, America. I'm sorry. I tried to go one way and I just drove us into the dirt.
Yeah, or like you said, it could be one of Elon's picks. I honestly don't know. Again, I just wanted to be vetted. I wanted to things to not be disrupted because we're on such a good track. But as you can see, like that rest of America might not feel that way. So I don't know. I can't call it, as Shannon would say. I cannot call it. So definitely continue to tune in. We'll see what the future holds. This is my famous line. We can go back to this article and this topic once a pick has been chosen. I guess sometime in January-ish should be it, right? The day after that he's inaugurated. Continue to stay tuned in to all the socials that go by our name, the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much everywhere, but LinkedIn is my bread and butter. And you, Daniel, where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo. I want to say one thing though. I forgot to give my pick, like who should go in the seat. So Ryan Williams Sr. of Ram Cybersecurity. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Should be in the seat. He can steer the nation around.
Talk about disruption. I was like, yo, give me the playbook. Let's just keep it moving. But yeah, thank you for the plug. I appreciate it. You find Daniel by his name on LinkedIn. Stay safe. Stay secure.